Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today, and like I said before, for the rest of the week, we're gonna have ourselves a 1v1 on Angoville. Our heroes today, once again, are going to be VindicareX, this time around playing as the Soviets in the blue, and his opponent is still HelpingHans, this time around playing as the OKW forces in the red. So once again, this is game 2 from the 6th round of the Operation Charlie Fox tournament. And spoilers, VindicareX lost the last game, so he is currently down 1-0. It is a best of 3, so it is necessary for VindicareX to win this one, otherwise he is knocked out of the tournament at this point. So, it's kind of, you know, safe assumption to say there's quite a bit on the line right now for VindicareX. So, Wagon coming out to the field, rushes straight forward and decides to ignore the combat engineers that are currently harassing the supply half-track. Sets itself up to be able to shoot at the combat engineers. Combat engineers get themselves inside the house. They do end up getting suppressed, but they're inside the house and they're nice and cozy now, so they will be able to avoid any further suppression and break the current suppression and get themselves back into the fight. Down in the southern portions of the map, we have the Volksgrenadiers engaging conscripts. Wagon moving into support. 2nd Conscript Squad Uraing forward, getting themselves into some heavy cover as the Volksgrenadiers pop themselves inside the house to be able to, well, survive. They do not manage to decap the strategic point, however, so everything on the right-hand side is still being connected for VindicareX, as the big group of 10 conscripts is currently engaging the 4 lonely Volksgrenadiers that are currently holed up inside the house. Wagon move up, trying to get an angle and see if we can actually shoot at those conscripts, but not having too much luck. The Volksgrenadiers end up having to evacuate the house and will be retreating back to base. Up in the north, the combat engineers still hold up inside the house. We have Volksgrenadiers around capturing territory. And on the left-hand side of the map, we see a Storm Pioneer squad being left alone to capture the entire map. So we see that VindicareX has gone for his tier 1 pretty quickly, only got himself 2 conscripts and then built an additional combat engineer squad to be able to tech, and then following it up with the Soviet scout car. The scout car now on the field. Combat engineers probably going to be getting upgraded with flamethrowers at some point, but it is a very strong option to be able to deal with the Wagon. Conscripts pushing forward, getting themselves into some heavy cover by the hay bale, managing to get some good shots on the Wagon. Wagon down to about half health now to the small arms fire. Combat engineers behind them going to be popping inside the truck. Even though they don't have the flamethrower, they can still add their firepower to the engagement, and the Wagon will be going down rather quickly here to the scout car, I can only assume. Wagon catching wind of the scout car moving up against it, but there's really not much that he can do about it. The Wagon will be taken down here. Volksgrenadiers in the way. They are not going to be able to do much to it because they're not grenadiers. They do not have the ability to Faust. They can upgrade to a Shrek, but that is about it. So the scout car is pretty much able to just have its way with the Wagon, and the Wagon has died. So HelpingHans opened up with 3 Volksgrenadiers and the Wagon, following it up with the battle group headquarters, which is currently being built. It's going to take a second here or two, but it'll be done rather soon, and we shall see what its follow-up is after that. Storm Pioneers and Volksgrenadiers are harassing the scout car. The scout car doing it, you know, as best as it can, but again, does not currently have flamethrowers upgraded on the combat engineers, so it's not nearly as deadly as it potentially could be. Still, though, because of the lack of Fausts, he's going to be able to do quite a bit with it. Sniper coming onto the field for VindicareX, and very interesting and excellent choice, I say so. I always like a sniper play. And the music stops. Very dramatically. Conscripts moving around on the left-hand side, going to be capturing some territory as we have Volksgrenadiers and Storm Pios currently retreating back to base. We do have the medics online, so it is, you know, a fair decision there for HelpingHans to quickly retreat his units, since they weren't really that much out there on the field, and get them healed up, save himself a little bit of manpower, sacrifices a little bit of capping potential, but it's only temporary. And that manpower can go a long way into building up his army. Combat engineer still moving around on the right-hand side, going to be going for that munitions point. Scout car continues to move forward, now fully repaired with the combat engineer squad inside. Combat Engineer squad inside, still not getting upgraded. No, it is actually getting upgraded. Pops its flamethrower right there, and there goes the flamethrower burst, managing to force away that Combat Engineer squad. Sorry, Volksgrenadier squad. Sniper on the left-hand side, getting a shot off at the MG34, HelpingHans and VindicareX. Both of them have selected their doctrines already. We have the armored assault tactics going for VindicareX, while HelpingHans gets the Luftwaffe ground forces doctrine. Shrek upgraded on one of the Volksgrenadier squads. The combat engineers pop out and their flamethrowers flame. Getting some good damage in there, but the squad makes it out of there with 4 men still alive. Will be able to heal up and, again, save itself a little bit. Back at base, we do have medics already upgraded for VindicareX, so he is doing the same. And the scout car makes its way all the way back to base, I should say, as it did get a little bit battered. Combat engineers on the far north, right-hand side, engaging against Volksgrens at range. The Volksgrens do not have the benefit of cover, while these guys have a little bit of light cover in the brush. Another combat engineer squad moving up to the north, going to be popping inside this house. No, it decides to not even pop in the house as the MG34 is moving back. We see sandbags going down for HelpingHans as he captures that strategic point up in the north, making sure he can capture it a little bit easier with the benefit of cover. While the combat engineers on the right-hand side do end up retreating, still 4 men left in it, but took a little bit of damage and wasn't really able to fight very well by itself. Sniper moving up, getting some more shots there on the Volksgrenadiers. Volksgrenadiers down to 4. Combat engineers popping in, popping out. Shots flying, shots hitting. Shrek's flying. We do have an infantry support gun on the field for HelpingHans, so that's going to make it difficult for those garrison troops to really do a lot. And on the far left-hand side, we see conscripts laying down some sandbags as they capture territory, because they can. Nobody's really opposing them right now. Sniper popping into the house, popping out of the house. We do have 2 men left on that Volksgrenadier squad. The sniper in range to take another shot. Decides not to take the other shot. Only has 4 kills so far. Shots fly, gets another hit into the Volksgrenadier squad inside this other house, which loses one of its members. And in the victory point, we see a Volksgrenadier squad a little bit off range from the sniper, capturing that right-hand side victory point. MG34 behind it, covering and capturing the fuel, while the storm pilots outside are doing what they can. Sniper moves up, getting some shots on the Volksgrenadiers. Volksgrenadiers down to 3 men, forced to retreat as combat engineers move up. Volksgrenadiers coming up, trying to maybe get the kill on the sniper. And the infantry support gun taking some shots into that stone house. Scout car going to be popping up with its flamethrowers, going to be doing a lot of damage to the units inside the house. The Volksgrenadiers take a shot and instantly retreat, making sure they keep themselves alive and do a little bit of damage. Combat engineers popping out, going to get some repairs going as we see a conscript squad retreating from the north as it finally captured all the left-hand side. Not much else coming out right now for HelpingHans. Combat engineer squad popping inside this barn, getting shot at quite effectively there by the infantry support gun. MG34 also a little bit angled to be able to shoot at the house, although nobody is in that window, so it's able to, you know, stay alive and not get shot at. Far left-hand side, Volksgrenadiers going for the victory points. Right-hand side, the sniper moving around. Maxim machine gun now on the field for VindicareX as he techs up to tier 2. Interesting. So getting both tier 1 and tier 2, making sure he covers all his bases. Combat engineer scout car popping forward, getting some damage on the MG34s, forcing them to retreat. Shrek flies, combat engineers pop out in the last second, managing to keep themselves alive, but the scout car is gone for this world. Sniper is all the way back, so it's not going to be able to help in this engagement. Combat engineer squad takes a little bit of damage and is forced to retreat as the Fallschirmjäger squad gets popped into this house, denying the ability there to get inside for the combat engineers, and they also are forced to retreat. Maxim machine gun on the right-hand side, going to be covering the victory point as the MG34 sets up behind it. Neither of them in each other's range. Far left-hand side, we see another Maxim machine gun moving up to try to capture that victory point. Volksgrenadier squad doing quite a bit of damage to the Maxim machine gun as we have a Volksgrenadiers and conscripts engaging at pretty close range over on this right side. The Maxim machine gun forced to retreat, but it did manage to distract a little bit as the Volksgrenadier squad chased it down, so the conscripts were able to inflict a decent amount of damage to this Volksgrenadier squad, brings it down to 2 men, but, well, with the addition of the other squad, these conscripts will either die or have to retreat. They do decide to retreat, the wisest of choices, and there he goes. 9 kills so far on the sniper. Sniper not doing a lot, but still getting some hits here and there. Combat engineers popping forward with his flamethrowers. The Volksgrenadiers inside the house decide to retreat, otherwise they would very quickly die. And back at base, we do see tier 3 now going down for VindicareX, as he is just basically getting everything. Does get access to the IS-2 with this Doctrine, and of course can also build T-3485s, but that is nothing that we're going to see from this tech. He would actually have to tech up to tier 4 if we wanted to see the T-3485s. Mines getting laid down for VindicareX on the right-hand side as everything gets captured. The sniper being utilized to cap as well. Maxim machine gun. I don't know why I keep wanting to call him MG34. I mean, I do because there are MG34s on the field, but I don't know why I insist on calling the Maxim machine gun that. Anyways, left-hand side, Maxim machine gun and combat engineers pushing forward. These combat engineers do not have any upgrades, so their flamethrowers are non-existent. They're unable to quickly flush out these Volks. Storm Pyro's getting on top of the Combat Engineer Squad. Combat Engineer Squad going to go down, and down goes the Combat Engineer Squad for VindicareX, as he also loses a Conscript Squad at some point. I'm not sure if he lost it here, but let me write it down, and we'll see when it happened. Maxim Machine Gun taking a good hit there to the Volksgrenadiers. The Volksgrenadiers, I believe it's an incendiary grenade that they threw, or what was that? Because there were a lot of flames over there. And the Maxim machine gun took a little bit of damage, but now with tier 3 up, we see VindicareX going for the half-track, but he does go for the half-track and the anti-air weapons, which of course are very good. Essentially a mobile MG. Oh, VindicareX barely dodging that shoe mine. Infantry support gun getting cleared out. As the Fallschirmjägers do move up, they can get in range for a Faust. Remember, these guys do have it available. Panzer Grenadiers do get themselves a Shrek, as it looks like a Volksgrenadier squad went down as well. And they picked up the Shrek. I'm missing a couple things here. And we see the half-track pushing forward, trying to go for the kill. Manages to get the kill on the... Oof, gonna get itself killed. Not sure if it was worth it, though. I don't think it was worth it. This does manage to get the kill on the Storm Pile squad, which eliminates the Shrek from play. But of course, HelpingHans can just simply purchase another one, although I guess his resources are a little bit low. He does need 90 munitions, whereas he only has 72. But the half-track was lost completely. VindicareX is going to be getting himself another one, as the sniper still moving around. Now 14 kills so far, so doing a pretty good job there. We do see a Yak Panzer getting called onto the field for HelpingHans. A bit of a strong reaction there. There's no vehicles on the field right now for VindicareX, even though he is going to get himself another half-track. But, I mean, I guess it's good. I mean, the half-track obviously doesn't stand the chance at all, never, against the Yak Panzer. So I guess that kind of works. And we also have a Rocket Warfare on the field for HelpingHans. Maxim machine gun over here on the right-hand side getting incendiary-nated. Left-hand side, we see the Maxim machine gun getting cleared out again by a incendiary grenade. So basically, yeah, the Volksgrenadiers, they lost their standard grenade, but they got incendiary grenades. So basically, they got Molotovs. Infantry support gun does get recovered there by VindicareX. He's moving it currently back. We see shots flying as the half-track goes down once again. Not really paying off there for VindicareX. He even spent the munitions to get the anti-air weaponry on it, which, yeah, I mean, didn't actually do much. So VindicareX, not in great shape. Did manage to score himself a nice infantry support gun, but that's about it. More Volksgrenadiers getting produced for Helping Hands. Helping Hands now currently has 3 MGs on the field, one of them being a stolen Maxim machine gun. So, I mean, that's nice. Penal Battalions getting produced for VindicareX, as he already has a conscript squad. May as well build penals if he has tier 1, right? And the 2-man MG34 team is just being the only line of defense on the left-hand side and pretty much the rest of the map. Now we see troops starting to move out once again. Another MG34 being brought up to cover the center, but that's about it. Sniper still on the field, 18 kills so far, so it's doing rather well. We see a Rakuten Warfare pushing forward in Cloak, while we have a MG34 set up there. Shot flies from the sniper. Conscripts getting the clear on the MG34. Still, the MG34 is there for the taking. Could equalize the number of MGs available for each of them. Fallschirmjägers moving around. We have a penal battalion hold up inside the house. Only 2 windows in this direction, even though there's a third one in the attic, but I guess only 2 of them can shoot. We see a white phosphorus. Well, no, not white phosphorus. It's a Blend Corper 2H frangible smoke grenade. Oof. Combat Engineer Squad almost gets itself killed. Runs through the smoke, leaving a trail of smoke behind it, but looks like it's barely going to make it out of there. Right-hand side, the Penal Battalion going to be running into some Volksgrenadiers. Far left-hand side, the conscripts have gone for the MG34 as the other squad captures the point on the left-hand side. So, again, the MGs are in balance, 2 and 2. And we do see an AT gun on the field for Mr. VindicareX, as he wants something to deal with that Yak Panzer. Maybe not deal with it, but at least keep it at bay. Make sure that it just doesn't waltz itself up to the base and destroy all the buildings, right? Volksgrenadiers pushing in force over on the right-hand side. We see a grenade flying into the house as a incendiary grenade gets tossed in. The Maxim machine gun inside taking quite a bit of damage, down to 4 men. Forced to pack up and leave. Oh, infantry support gun nailing the Volksgrenadiers as it shoots back at its former masters. AT gun a little bit behind the wall, making sure that it doesn't get itself cleared out. And the conscripts on the left-hand side are going to recapture territory. Victory points, 491 to 304. Pretty much anybody's game at this stage, so we'll see. Combat Engineers pushing over on the right-hand side to get that victory point. Volksgrenadiers with their flamethrowers not really being able to do too much there. Infantry support gun taking some shots as the sniper also gets some shots additionally in there. 20 kills so far for the sniper. The stolen Maxim machine gun only has 4 men in its crew, so it's not, it's not always a 6-man. It depends who owns it. Penal Battalion pushing up, getting in the way of the retreating retreating combat engineers as the Volksgrenadiers assault them. Sniper in position, taking some more shots, but it does not look like it can get any hits. Nope. Breaks line aside and they make themselves out of there. Infantry support gun still around as we see VindicareX trying to push on the right-hand side. Penal Battalion getting right on top of that Volksgrenadier squad, going to be doing a lot of damage with their SVT rifles at that close range. Maxim machine gun on the other side of the building catches the Volksgrenadier squad on the retreat, or on the move, get it pinned down, forcing to retreat, and the Penal Battalion is going to try its best to take it down, but it's 2 men strong. Not going to be able to finish it off. We do have a sniper team nearby, but it's not in position to shoot, so the squad manages to make it out of there with still 2 men left. Maxim machine gun does get brought up behind to capture the strategic point. Volksgrenadiers move up to capture the fuel. And an MG34 gets set up in front of the Volksgrenadiers. Sorry, in front of the Penals. Wow, I'm all over the place as they try to capture the fuel. Left-hand side, conscripts going for the strategic point. They run themselves into some Fallschirmjägers and Volksgrenadiers. Not a good spot to be in, so they end up retreating. And the stolen MG34 moves up, providing some support, getting shots on the stolen Maxim, and forcing everybody to retreat. Yak Panzer moving around by itself. We have the MG-34 moving around in the north. Volksgrenadier squad is inside this house, so the MG-34 is unable to do too much. Left-hand side, Fallschirmjägers pushing around to points as Volksgrenadiers go for the victory points. And the sniper sitting in the center taking some shots at that. Is that a Maxim or is it an MG-34? Looks like an MG-34 inside this house. Sniper taking some shots, getting suppressed, but it moves out of the way. Yak Panzer moving up, trying to get some shots at, well, pretty much whatever it can. AT gun is currently set up, taking some shots through the shack. The shack is about to collapse, but it's still very capable of blocking shots. Yak Panzer taking some shots at the ground nearby the AT gun, but not managing to do too much. And yeah, the shack itself is down, but it doesn't really do too much. Sturmovik attack getting called in on top of the Fallschirmjägers, it looked like, forcing them to retreat. It's currently loitering, so it can potentially hit the Volksgrenadiers over on this left-hand side. Conscript nearby, capturing or recapturing some territory. As we see up in the north, a big push. The stolen... No, that's the Maxim machine gun, sorry. Nope, strafing run still going into the center, not actually doing anything. Disappoint. Veteran C2 acquired on the sniper. The sniper now has more rate of fire, which makes it all that cooler and easier to use. And the Maxim machine gun, the stolen Maxim machine gun, moving on the left-hand side with the support of the Yak Panzer. As again, there's not much that it can do or shoot at it. Like I said, it kind of felt like a little bit of an overreaction. Wasn't really necessary to build it. Let's reposition ourselves here. Getting kind of tired. There we go. So, conscripts pushing up as Volksgrenadiers cover the point. We have combat engineers with sweepers now sweeping, trying to see if they can spot any mines. Conscripts do end up retreating and they make it out of there. We have the combat engineers retreating as well. We have yet another infantry support gun on the field for HelpingHans, as he has two of them, basically. One on the right-hand side, one on the left. We still have that infantry support gun that got stolen by VindicareX, so there are 3 infantry support guns in this game so far, so that's pretty cool. IS-2 getting called onto the field for VindicareX, manages to wipe an entire squad here. This looks to be a Volksgrenadier squad that died. Yep, it's the one with the Shrek, so no more Shrek once again. Now at this stage, the Yak Panzer does, you know, make more sense as it can combat the IS-2 decently enough. We do have a Rocket Warfare, but the Rocket Warfare is kind of nowhere to be seen. It's over here on the right-hand side, moving around trying to recapture some territory. As we see the no, not the Maxim, that's the MG-34, running itself straight into the stolen MG-34, getting some damage on it, but it manages to make it out of there. Far left-hand side, conscripts and the sniper still moving around, capturing more territory with the support of the IS-2. We do have 25 kills on that sniper for VindicareX, so it's been doing quite a bit of work. IS-2 pushing forward on the left-hand side. Shot flies and it goes all the way into the base as it misses completely. Yak Panzer moving up, putting a front there against the IS-2. The IS-2 going to be backing off as it doesn't have any support to quickly finish off the Yak Panzer. It does need the AT gun at the very least. The AT gun is now on station, so it should be able to potentially push, even though it kind of needs a little bit more range if it wants to be able to get a shot in there. The Rocket Warfare on the right-hand side, going to stay on the right-hand side, making sure that no sneaky vehicle play gets tossed on the right-hand side and leaves him vulnerable, I suppose. Infantry support gun getting surrounded there by the penals. We do see a Juera Panzer headquarters going down for HelpingHans. Satchel charge flies, and there goes the cancel, forcing the wasting, essentially, of 45 munitions for VindicareX. But that means that HelpingHans is unable to tech and actually needs to wait another 2 minutes before he can actually even start to tech. So it's not like with a combat engineer squad or, you know, PIO squad that you can start building, you know, the building and cancel it and then just build it again. If you do that, it actually destroys a supply half-track. It doesn't just morph back, and you have to wait until you can just get another one. IS-2 moves up, getting some shots there on the infantry. Volksgrenadier squad down to 1 man, forced to retreat all the way back to base. Maxim machine gun moving up and trying to capture some territory as we have Fallschirmjägers hold up inside the house. Far right-hand side, we see a combat engineer squad coming up for a bit of a flank. Infantry support gun taking some damage, but the MG34 is the major threat here. Oh, enemy infantry support gun getting a good hit there on the combat engineers, getting them suppressed and forcing them to retreat, running the gauntlet through the MG and the Volksgrenadiers. The Maxim machine gun for Vindicare does manage to stop the Volksgrenadiers as they push forward, but not going to stop them from capping. Oh, actually it does stop them from capping, gets the pin down at the very last second, the very last second, and the victory point stays neutral. IS-2 moving itself up into the center. The Rocket Warfare and Yak Panther are going to be trying to combine efforts to do as much damage as they can. And the Maxim machine gun on the right-hand side does end up taking quite a bit of damage and forced to retreat as the infantry support guns do a lot of damage. Shot flies from the IS-2, getting a good penetration on the frontal armor of that Yak Panther. The Yak Panther down to about 80% strength. Conscripts popping into the barn there, forcing kind of the Rocket Warfare to get out of there. We do have another Shrek equipped for the Volksgrenadier squad, and we see a strafing run. Sturmovik attack getting called in right on top of this area. Doesn't actually manage to do too much though. It hits that house a little bit more than it should have. And the Fallschirmjäger squad moves out of the house and is going to just simply back off. Infantry support gun, the stolen infantry support gun for VindicareX is still getting some shots in there. Sturmovik trying to do as much damage as it can to everything, but not really succeeding. AT gun sets up. It does not have an angle on the Yak Panther, as the Yak Panther is a little bit to the side. Needs to back the hell off. The IS-2 is still there. Yak Panther getting some good shots on the IS-2. We see the AT gun backing off a little bit too far. Needs to set up for a shot. There goes the shot. Gets a good hit on the Yak Panther. The Yak Panther cloaks, shoots, uncloaks, takes fire. Oh, a nice sniping shot there by the AT gun for VindicareX, and down goes the Yak Panther for HelpingHans. A very, very nice pickup there for VindicareX. Almost exactly what he needed, basically. Rocket Warfare did end up going down. Could be potentially destroyed there by the IS-2, but the IS-2 is not going to risk it, and it's going to move itself a little bit further back and get repairs. Sniper still on the field, 29 kills so far. Gets itself shot once. Going to be getting shot twice, and down goes the sniper for VindicareX as HelpingHans managed to execute it behind the lines with the Fallschirmjäger squad. Sad loss there for VindicareX, but it did its job. 29 kills, not too shabby, but the Maxim machine gun, the stolen Maxim machine gun, gets decrewed once again by the IS-2 over on the far right-hand side. Still, though, the IS-2 does not have the support of, well, anything really. Combat engineers are not nearby to repair, so kind of needs to wait a little bit. Back at base, we do see the mechanized armor Campania for Mr. VindicareX as he starts building those T-3485s. Remember, you can only have one heavy call-in of the IS-2, so may as well use that fuel for good and start building some stuff, right? So with that frame of thinking, we now have a T-3485 on the field. And by now, I mean now. There it is. Far left-hand side, we see a single Volksgrenadier squad being sent for HelpingHans, trying to recover some territory. HelpingHans down to 106 point. VindicareX very strong, very solid. Still holding 487 points of his own. Conscripts pushing forward, going to be running into that MG34. We do still have that Maxim machine gun. No, we don't. We actually already have it for VindicareX as he recovers it and runs its way back to base. Infantry support gun taking some shots at a distance, trying to hit that MG34. MG34 down to one man. Can he get cleared out? The conscripts could potentially focus it, and they do. Down it goes, as the Maxim machine gun getting some good shots on the supply half-track, forcing it to back off. Ren squad on the left-hand side getting caught by the T-3485. T-3485 chasing it down, maybe potentially taking out the entire squad. Down to one man, does not manage to finish the deal, as we see a second Yak Panzer getting built for HelpingHans. But with a T-3485 and an IS-2 on the field, that Yak Panzer has got its work cut out for him, is what I'm trying to say. Maxi machine gun getting some damage on the engine there on the supply half-track. Supply half-track going to be going down, and once again, HelpingHans will be unable to tech. This is the supply half-track that he got from that. He wasn't seemingly interested in teching, but, I mean, even if he wanted to, now he can't. Needs to wait another 180 seconds. So right-hand side, the Fallschirmjäger squad going for the victory point. We do still have that IS-2 sitting around there. Yak Panzer going to be moving up. The Raketenwerfers are available, but they're not here. So the IS-2 is pretty much able to do whatever the hell it wants. Can it kill off the Fallschirmjäger squad? No, it misses its shot. Combat engineers with the flamethrower moving up. The Fallschirmjäger is doing a lot of damage to it. Flamethrower burst does go off, doing almost no damage to the Fallschirmjägers, but the IS-2 does end up doing the damage itself. Combat engineer squad does go down, however, for VindicareX. Getting a little bit too greedy, a little bit too tunneled in his vision. And the IS-2 has taken quite a beating here from everything, as the Yak Panzer, the Shreks, everything is just nailing into him. Main gun does get destroyed for the IS-2, so the IS-2 needs to get the hell out of there, down to a sliver of health. The Yak Panzer is going to go on the chase. He does not want to leave this tank alive. Can he manage to finish it off? Potentially. I'm assuming he will. He's probably going to run it all the way through and maybe see if he can get the kill, but no, manages to make it all the way back to base. Not going to risk the Yak Panzer and manages to stay alive. T-3485 on the side, getting a good shot there on the Volksgrenadier squad, but manages to stay alive and get the hell out of there. Volksgrenadier squad getting some hits on the rear of that AT gun. The AT gun trying to move desperately back to base, or at least back out of the way. Maxi machine gun going to be stopping those Volksgrenadiers. Conscripts pushing forward. Left-hand side, we do have some troops here for Vindicare, as we have Penals, Combat Engineers, and Maxi machine gun covering, but nothing really going in that direction. Yak Panzer and Raketenwerfer moving out of the way. Raketenwerfer retreating. Maxi machine gun sitting in the center. The T-3485 sitting in the center. And back at base, a lot of repairs needed here for that IS-2. 3 front bounces, says HelpingHans. I'm assuming he means that the IS-2 bounced 3 frontal hits, and that's why it's still alive. Yeah, I mean, that can happen. Frontal armor is pretty strong, so it's very likely to bounce shots. You want to be able to get it on the sides, or the rear, of course, if your enemy makes the mistake of showing you that, to be able to do, you know, required damage. Conscripts moving out of the way of that fuel point as it's getting shot by that infantry support gun. Yak Panzer going to be pushing forward, but there's not much for it to shoot. Fallschirmjäger squad catches that conscript squad on the retreat. Down to 4 men, probably down to 3 before it's done. Nope. The stolen infantry support gun does get decrewed there by HelpingHans. T-3485 moves up. Oh, takes a direct shot at that Fallschirmjäger troop. Getting a good hit and a good kill. Returns fire now at the Yak Panzer. The Yak Panzer has caught it. A little bit out of position there. Does manage to nail a good hit in the frontal armor of that Yak Panzer, but the Yak Panzer is still alive and kicking at about 90% strength. Far right-hand side, the Fallschirmjäger squad pops inside this house. Going to be popping out to engage. The members from the squad itself could potentially do damage, but a light gammon grenade, or heavy gammon? Bundle grenade does get tossed there on the well, not conscripts, but the machine gun team, the MG crew, and they managed to make it out of there just barely. Yak Panzer getting some good shots there on both the IS-2 and the T-3485. The T-3485 disengaging as it doesn't want to get itself killed. Far left-hand side, this Maxi machine gun catching those Volksgrenadiers out in the open as they try to capture the point. Can it get the pin down? Looks like it may be able to get the pin down. And on the right-hand side, we hear the Yak Panzer catching a blaze and getting itself killed, as the IS-2 probably the one that killed it. No, 1 vehicle destroyed, so Maybe something else. Although, could have actually been that. Yeah, because the other one was killed by the AT gun. Okay, so there it goes. That's a kill. So Helping Hands really only has Fallshoe Makers on the field and some Volks. 2 Raketen Warfers, but Raketen Warfers aren't really that good against the IS-2. The IS-2 is able to actually take a lot of hits through the front from a Raketen Warfer and not really get much of any penetrations. And it will clear out the Raketen Warfer very quickly because, remember, the Raketen Warfer does not provide the members of the crew with heavy cover, so they're actually more vulnerable. GG, well played by Helping Hands. Vindicare throwing the GG as 10 points were remaining on the score, and Helping Hands knows that he was not going to be able to come back from this. And there we go, 1-1, going to the ace match. Pretty good games for these two guys. I hope that the third game does not disappoint. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the ace match.